you on, Seth?
Yes.
Should I bang my gavel?
You need your gavel.
Should I bang my gavel? Good evening, everyone. Welcome back from the fifth Wednesday. At this time, I'll call to order the regularly scheduled committee meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, at 7 p.m. Roll call, please. Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Burbett.
Here.
Trustee Caveney.
Here.
Trustee Crowley.
Here.
Trustee Hilly.
Here.
Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Killily.
Here.
Mayor LaRue.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I will open the floor to public comment. Is there any public comment tonight?
Thank you.
John.
Potholes, you still on that detail fixing them?
Yes, yes, we started lawn mowing and a few other projects, so we're trying to get people out.
Okay, Laramie has a couple.
I'm learning. Okay,
All right.
which part on,
Closer to the turnpike.
Okay.
43rd Street.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Good evening, everyone. I brought samples, evidence of the poor job that these people doing this cement work on our street, Springfield Avenue, the curb, and then they left cement balls and rocks and stuff. Supposedly, I'm guessing the contract for the people that were to follow, that were gonna do the lawn fill-in, for them to pick up the miscellaneous rocks and boulders that was left all over the place. I would have thought the cement people would have picked up their cement balls, but they didn't do that. Anyway, so they left rocks all over the lawns, not just in the hole that was created for the fill-in, but it was on our lawns, the frontage of the entire street, rocks and boulders all around. You know, some of our neighbors that we know on Springfield Avenue, they picked up in front of their homes. I picked up in front of 2 homes and brought you some of these, the largest things. The safety issue, and I pointed it out to a couple of the contractors. One contractor was, I'm not blind, I can see, I'm not going over there anyway. And he was, you know, mad at me for trying to point out that the lawnmowers hitting rocks turns them into missiles. And those missiles will go hit a car, they'll hit somebody's window, or some kid walking home to school back and forth. Anybody ever have that accident happen where you're, you know,
Yeah, sure.
mowing
Lawnmower sort
your
of
yard
rocks.
and the blade hits something?
And it'll ruin your lawnmower too.
It's
Andy, can you talk to the contractor that's doing the, you talk,
Yeah.
must be the curb work, right?
Yeah, over here on 150th to 151st Street.
Yes.
We'll go take a look at it in the morning to find out. I know they have to come back for some of the lawn work, but to find out where the mission was at.
Welcome back to Vanguard Motor Sales.
And I do have some pictures of what my frontage looks like.
I'll give you a card, and then if you want to email the pictures to us, then we would have them for the engineers and for the contractors.
There's the evidence.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Pirates?
Hello, good afternoon. I was coming in regards to, I wanted to speak to you guys because I have a issue going on with a neighbor of mine, and I feel like I haven't gotten enough help from the building department. The issue is that I live over at, on Holman Avenue, right across the street from the baseball park. And, a neighbor of mine, they constantly urinate across the street in the park. They urinate in the driveways. They always have vehicles coming in and out that they do mechanic work on. Doesn't matter the time of the day, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night. They spill oil all the time on the driveways. They run over the properties. I spoke to, I believe his name is Michael. I apologize if I pronounced it wrong. I think it's Ganuka or Ganuka. And I've provided enough evidence because I have ADC home security system, so I record everything, and I provided video footage of them urinating across the street near the park, on my side of the driveway, their side of the driveway, them taking vehicles in and out, doing engine work replacements inside the garage, and he told me that they can't do nothing because they need to catch them in the act of them doing the things. But it makes no sense because if I'm providing video footage, I feel like I should set enough grounds for them to be able to like set them straight. The other issue is too that I don't know what's going on with the building department. It seems that they always switch inspectors. There used to be an inspector, her name was Maria Hilda. She was the one that I felt that did the most to address this issue. She did send tenants to court, and the judge ordered order to cease and desist while work. And it seems that they're not honoring that order that the judge gave. So I was speaking with a fellow officer, and he told me that he would recommend coming here to speak with you guys to see if there's something that you guys will be able to help with. As I mentioned, I have video of everything from them urinating across the street at the park. My driveway is attached to the right side of their house, which shares a driveway of theirs. And as I mentioned, they're always making noise, doesn't matter the time of the day. They urinate across the street at the park. Just today, I got in contact with Common yesterday, so they could come and trim some branches that are hanging over the electric lines. And the guy was out there doing mechanic work, and because he knows that he's not supposed to be doing that no more, I also had footage of that. As soon as she pulled in front of my property, and he's seen it, he ran outside and closes the garage door because he knows that he's not supposed to be doing what he's continuing to do. And as I said, Michael and the new inspector, I believe her name is Karina, I feel like they haven't given me enough support, even though I've already provided a lot of pictures, videos. They know of all the issues that are going on, so I wanted to come here and comment that to see if there's maybe something that you guys would be able to help with to address this issue.
Can you provide us with an address, an exact address?
Yes, correct. It's 14350 Holman Avenue.
Chief, can you?
Yeah, we can definitely address some of the issues, especially urinating and whatnot. We'll collaborate with the building department and see if our community service officer can address. Thank you.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I'm more than happy to sit down with whoever, and show all the videos and everything I have as well. I just don't think it's right, that it always smells like urine. And then, for example, another thing is they always bring vehicles in from out of state. Some have no plates at all, some have plates from Minnesota, Wisconsin. They're always trampling the grass. I know that that's not part of my property. The grass that's towards the street. And they damaged mine, and there's damage, and when I brought it up to Michael, he told me, you shouldn't worry about that, that's not part of your property. Yet, I'm upheld to manage it, which I always do my part and do manage that part of the grass. Yet, when it's currently damaged now, if you guys would drive over there, it's bad, because they always bring tow trucks, they bring vehicles, they're trampling all over across the grasses. So I just kind of got tired of it, and I wanted to come here in hopes that it would be able to finally do something to address this issue.
Write down your name and number and I'll have somebody follow up.
I'm very sorry about what you're experiencing. You shouldn't have to live like that, so we'll take care of it. We'll address it.
And sir, I gave you my business card. I'm the trustee liaison to the building department. If
Okay.
you could email me tomorrow and send a couple of the videos.
Okay, yeah, definitely will.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. I'll close the floor to public comment. Move on to trustee business. Trustee Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple things tonight. I just want to let everyone know that we still do have the hoedown dance with the Parks District. It's on next Saturday, May 17th from 5:30 to 8:30. It's $12. You can register at the Park District building. We've also hired a line dancing instructor, so they will teach everybody how to line dance. And right now, the registration is low. We need 30 people to register to make it financially viable. So if you're interested, you have till May 12th to register for the dance. I'd like to see the dance go off. We've had dances for the last 2 years, and they're a lot of fun. So I just wanted to make that known. The second thing is we've sent out information about the elimination of the vehicle stickers and the water bills that were mailed last Friday, May 2nd, and also the same information will go out in the June bills and the July bills. Additionally, I'd like to thank Deputy Clerk Harris for helping put together the additional information on the clerk's webpage. There we have the insert flyer that's going in the water bills, and they're both in English and Spanish. There's a letter from the mayor to explain the process and also the ordinance, so there's a lot of information about what we're doing. So if anybody's interested, please take a look. If you have any questions, please let us know. And finally, lastly, I'd like to say thank you to Kathy Cagney, Trustee Kathy Cagney. This is your last full meeting. I want to thank you for being a trustee for the last 8 years. Your dedication to the village is second to none. We should all strive to be an elected official with as much heart and dedication as you. And you not only a mentor, but have become a dear friend. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
I'll save mine for later. I didn't write a speech, though.
Kathy, could I ask a favor of you and Jackie? I saw over the weekend some people were asking questions on Facebook on one of the neighborhood watch pages about the new water billing system we're going back to, PSN. So I don't remember when it's going to effect, if it already is in effect. If you already put something out there, would you repost it?
I have not at the moment.
We haven't yet.
We're close to posting something shortly to
Oh, okay.
notify everyone
Okay.
with the target date.
Oh, okay, very good. I wasn't sure if I.
Still finalizing some equipment issues and some settings on the system.
Oh,
So,
very good, okay.
but it will be coming soon.
Okay, very good. If I see any more posts, then I'll recheck.
You'll have your turn.
Yep.
You'll have your
And Kathy, if, as things come up, I'll be happy to address the PSN e-pay.
Okay, thanks.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Trustee Burbank.
Thank you, Mayor. Last meeting, I asked to pull the discussion of the bid award for Stipp Brothers Excavating for the lead service line replacement. We received a single bid for the job, and it was 1.5 times what we expected it to be. So I asked to pull it so we could go over the issue itself and how that gets addressed financially. So Don was there for the meeting. He's satisfied. I received documentation from the meeting. I'm satisfied. Attached tonight is the bid award in case anybody wants to discuss it. David's here and he can answer questions if anybody has questions.
Maybe we could have our engineer give us the short story on that, just to recap what's going on.
I'd love to.
He was hoping.
So the basic rundown is, so we advertised it in early March. There was a 30-day bid period associated with that. The overarching conditions of the market right now are IEPA has a fiscal year end that is coming on June 30th for this second round of funding that they put all over the state. So who knows exactly how many projects these contractors are bidding on right now. There's a lot of them from their first round of funding that are still in construction. So we did a pre-bid meeting, 7 showed up and listened to the rundown of the project, of the areas, all that kind of stuff, what the specifications are. 4 of them ended up picking up the bid package. We were following up with them, trying to make sure that we were going to get bidders. As we had more conversations with them, it was very clear that they weren't really that interested in loading up on more work. They had too much as it was. So what wound up happening is, only one of those 4 wound up bidding, and they threw a very large number at it. Unfortunately, just because of the time constraints associated with the money that the village was awarded, we don't really have much of an option other than to take the bid. That's just because their fiscal year ends a certain time, we don't have time to rebid it. If we did rebid it, it would be difficult to get another bidder in the first place. So STIP may then give us another bid that's even higher because they know that they're the only ones who are willing to bid this one. So my recommendation to the board would be to award the contract, and that way we can get a loan agreement with IEPA. We have $3 million in forgiveness funding that is allocated to the village for these replacements. And so we'll use the money that we have, we'll spend it to get to, we'll do the contract so that it won't wind up exceeding that amount and the village doesn't wind up having to pay out of pocket. And we'll do it on a first come, first served basis, since it most likely won't cover the entire area that it's eligible for. That's the long and the short of it. I'll answer any questions if there are any.
That covers it.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Where's this company from?
IEPA,
From where?
the Illinois Environmental Protection
Where's
Agency.
it from?
Stip Brothers.
Oh, Snip Brothers? Off the top of my head, I don't know where they're headquartered.
Are they a local or?
Yeah, definitely.
Joliet?
Joliet. Our experience with Stip Brothers has been very positive in the past, although
Are
me
they
personally,
union?
that's a question for them. Not sure.
No? It'll be a problem, I mean, I'm just letting you know right now,
I-
it will be a major problem.
That's it, it's actually a question for Ty, but,
It'll come up. You know, I mean, hire whoever you want, but I'm just saying, something you need to ask them.
Yes.
So, that's our requirement, that's what we do.
Anything else on that?
No, that's just for discussion, but I would like to put it for approval on the next agenda. Also tonight, I'd like to make a motion to approve the invoice for Crestwood's resurfacing of 143rd Street.
I'll
That
second.
is $344,786.06.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Clerk Mosman.
Trustee Burbatt,
Aye.
Trustee Crowley,
Aye.
Trustee Cavey,
Aye.
Trustee Hilly,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Think I have to do?
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
And last but not least on my huge spending spree, on the agenda tonight is the manhole inspection proposal. Robinson Engineering's proposal for the 2025 I&I manhole inspections. It's on for discussion. If anybody had any particular concerns, there's an attachment to the agenda.
Nope.
Okay. I believe that completes my evening, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Hilly.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Cavey.
Thank you, Mayor. Trying to fumble here. I would like to thank Sandy and Kathy for these beautiful flowers and beautiful card. And so tonight is my very last full working meeting here with the board. Is it coincidence that my password expired and I cannot use it? I don't know. It was deliberate.
It was Pope Francis, yeah, sure.
Right. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, to each and every one of you. It's been my pleasure and honor to serve with you for the last 8 years, and it's been my pleasure and honor to serve the residents and the businesses of the village. So Mother Nature dumped on us back in April of 2013, and the village just got pounded with flooding. And then that September, my friend Laura invited me to her neighbor Helen's garage, and we met with John, who was the senior engineer at MWRD, and went over all kinds of flood data for the village, and kind of the rest is history. I spent 4 years volunteering and getting involved in the village and getting to know everybody, sat in the front row, took everybody to task for a lot of meetings, and then have been a trustee for the last 8 years. I'm very proud that as a village, we were able to, on the first application submission, be approved for CRS, which was my main goal for running for trustee. And for those who don't know what CRS is, it stands for Community Rating System, and it's a FEMA program that provides discounts to property owners who are required to carry FEMA flood insurance. They get a discount if their community participates in the community rating system, and by doing so, the community adheres to stricter building regulations, and they adhere to stricter stormwater management regulations. And when our application was approved, we were approved at a 7. So you start at 9, which is the bottom, and we were approved at a 7, which was a really big deal. Such a big deal that folks from Springfield drove up here personally to deliver our plaque to us and to deliver our approval to us. And then a few years ago, every 5 years we have to recertify. When we recertified, we had accumulated enough points because of the work that had been done between the building department and public works that we were able to improve our rating to a 6. So all of our property owners who do carry FEMA flood insurance now get a 20% discount. So, and this was not an individual effort by any means, it was definitely a team effort on everybody's part. One of the ordinances that I'm most proud of is the ordinance that one of our former deputy police chiefs helped with, and that was for the ordinance with regards to massage parlors. An incident came up in the village. I got a hysterical phone call and email from a resident. I in turn was hysterical about it myself, and the deputy chief worked with me very closely, and we got that ordinance passed in 3 weeks. So our village is safer for it now. And I mean, there's a lot of other accomplishments that we've had in the last 8 years, but like I said, it was all a team effort. So I just want to thank all of you very much. I'm going to miss you, but have no fear, I will show up in the front row at some point. Maybe just to visit.
And we're going to enforce the 3-minute time frame.
Yeah, Jack, that never worked for me. Okay, so on to my business. First order of business is I am making a motion that the board approve the access and indemnification agreement with Natural Resource Management, Inc. and OAI. And this agreement is for the management of our rain garden and for the Kilpatrick easement, and then along Natalie Creek from Costner to Pulaski.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Caveney.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Burbett.
Aye.
Trustee Hilly.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, asking for the board, I'm going to make a motion for the board to approve the revised job description title to Property Maintenance Code Inspector.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Caveney.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Burbett.
Aye.
Trustee Hilly.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. A side note to this particular matter, Superintendent Ganaka has come to me a couple times and asked if the board would consider changing this position from a part-time position to a full-time position. The workload is certainly there. Since our part-time inspector left several months ago, we've had very few inspections done as far as rental inspections, so we have to get that program up and running again, and we really need to have a property maintenance code inspector here in town. I mean, not just for grass and weeds, just for routine maintenance and just code violations all over the place. So I believe that Superintendent Ganaka was going to speak to Treasurer Britton about adjusting the budget for that. And of course, it's not been adjusted yet because the board has to approve it first. And I explained that to Mike. But I just wanted to throw that out there for your consideration, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks, it can come up for discussion again. And now that the job title has been updated, we'll go ahead and repost the job. Next item. Title 12.
Kathy, just for that
Oh.
though, I think on this, on the job description, it still says, does it say full-time or part-time?
I think it still says part-time.
You may wanna wait to post it till you
Mhm.
get it approved, so that
Mhm.
it posts for someone who's looking full-time.
Well, if that's the case, then we need to discuss it next week and get it approved pretty quickly, because the building department is drowning right now. And with regards to personnel, the candidate that Superintendent Ganaka, myself, and the mayor interviewed has accepted the position. She sent in her signed agreement last week, and I believe she should have come in already to have fingerprints done. So hopefully in the next week or so. Chief, do you know if she's come in?
Deputy Chief was waiting for her last week.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
waiting for the day that she was, but I don't know if she ever made it.
Okay,
Hours.
I'll check with superintendent, but yeah, she's accepted the job, so hopefully in the next week or two, she'll be here and things will get rolling along. Next item is up for discussion. It's a revision to Title 12. There's a draft ordinance that has been attached to the agenda, and the reason I'm asking for this is because the current Title 12 is, Title 12-1 is written for subdivisions, major subdivisions. We don't have, the last quote, major subdivision in our community was Joseph Court, and that was 6 houses. So, we still do have some parcels in town that are large enough that can be subdivided, and the ordinance doesn't have, a mechanism for that. So we were just kind of, the Superintendent Ganaka, myself, and Attorney Murphy were using Title 12-1 and picking out the language that was appropriate, but I just thought it would be easier if we had a specific ordinance and a section in this ordinance that specifically dealt with PIN divisions or PIN consolidations, because we still do have, just like Joseph Court, we've got a lot of properties, residential properties in town with deep backyards, and people are looking to subdivide them and, you know, make their yard smaller, create another lot, sell it off to somebody. There's a homeowner at 149th and Kildare,
Kildare, yeah.
who is looking to do just that. He owns 2 properties with a deep backyard. He already owns the back half of the 3rd house next to his 2 homes, so he may be coming to the village in the next month or so to seek to subdivide and consolidate. So this ordinance would just make the process a whole lot easier for not only the building department, but also the plan commission as the applications come in. And then I believe, at some point, the gentleman who owns the property at 147th and Kilbourne, where Big Toes is, and the little auto shop next door, I can never remember the name of it, that is all one PIN. And he would like to split that PIN into 2 separate PINs, so this ordinance would cover that as well. So does anybody have any questions or concerns about it?
I think it's a good idea.
No? Okay. Deputy Clerk Harris, could you put that on next week's consent agenda?
Yes.
Okay, and the last thing I have for the board's consideration is the proposal from Alberts and Sons. They are the vendor that Superintendent Ganaka has chosen to handle our grass cutting for this season. He put together like an email that he sent out to, I believe, 7 or 8 various vendors, including Roy's Landscaping, and asked them to send quotes in. And the quote that we received from Albert and Sons was the most reasonable. I don't recall what he was gonna charge us for the first cut if the grass was, you know, extremely high, you know, way over 8 inches. I think it was a couple $100, but I believe his weekly charge to come then weekly. And we don't have the grass cut every week, it depends on the weather. If it's super, super rainy, we may have to have it cut every week or every week and a half. If it's dry, maybe just once a month, but generally, it's every other week, especially if it's on a vacant or abandoned property. And I believe their charge, I can't open it on my phone, I'm sorry.
70.
It was a 70 or 75?
70 per cut. $70.
$70 per cut, which is pretty reasonable. I think last year we paid 60, I believe. So, if there's no questions or concerns with regards to this proposal, I would like to have this put on the consent agenda for next week as well. And he did provide us with his certificate of insurance already. Okay, and I just have a couple more things. Okay, lawn maintenance, Attorney Valadez, I sent everybody an email at the very, very end of the day, you may not have seen it, there's a property at 14710 Holman Avenue. That address covers 2 lots, it's a property that's right next door to our fire station 2, and the property is, I'm pretty sure it's vacant and abandoned. There are some vehicles, some abandoned vehicles there that are on the alley side of the lot. So Superintendent Ganaka had sent a note to myself and Trustee Crowley and to Chief Delaney about it today. So they're gonna take care of, you know, the vehicles and whatnot. I'll talk to Superintendent Ganaka about sending the property owner, you know, going through our regular process, sending the property owner a notice that they have to come and clean up, and if they don't do that within X amount of days, then they're gonna get citations. I looked up the taxes. 23 taxes are delinquent, first installment of 24 are delinquent, and I looked on the Cook County Clerk site, and some prior taxes have been sold, but the Cook County Clerk site, the information is not complete, so I don't know what year they were sold. I just know there was a sale done, completed in 21 and one in 24. So I'm asking if you could do, and I always call it the wrong thing, I don't know if it's a skip trace, a title search, or a title
search.
report. A search or a report? Title, just a search?
It's a search.
Okay, if you could do a title search for us, that would kind of help us figure out what the status is before we send it to our outside counsel for abandonment. Oh, and with regards to abandonment, we have 2 abandonment cases coming up at the end of May on the Millard property and the Ridgeway property. So hopefully those will not have a problem. And then on the Costner property, there was a tax sale. The village was sent a copy of the notice. The redemption period for the tax sale ends on July 29th. There is a hearing already scheduled for August for the official sale of the property. So Superintendent Ganaka and I and outside counsel will keep an eye on it, and depending on what happens at the tax sale, if the tax buyer decides they're gonna, you know, file one of those certificates of error and walk away, then we'll make sure the building department is ready to turn over and have the abandonment application ready to go. So we can file for abandonment on that one. And I believe that is all I have.
You sure?
Maybe.
Do you reserve the right?
I reserve the right, Mayor. I reserve the right.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Trustee Kilby.
Thank you, Mayor. We're going to take delivery of a new fire engine in June, but we have to pay for it first. So the way we're gonna pay for it is we have, the engine is $799,000, and we're going to pay $300,000 up front from our revenue generated by our ambulance services. And we're going to lease the rest of it over a 10-year period to $499,000. We've selected a company to do that. We do business with them all the time. And that's going to be over a 10-year period. That payment will be roughly the same as we were leasing the prior engine for. It will give us a little breathing room because in 2029 we have an ambulance to refurbish, so they will take some of those funds too. So is there any questions or discussion about that? Okay, then would we be able to put that on the consent agenda for next meeting? Of course, with the appropriate documentation. Second of all, we had last Saturday, we had a great cleanup day. We had a pretty good turnout for that. The volunteers did a great job. They really did a great job of cleaning up. Their areas look fantastic. We could have used a few more volunteers, but volunteers we had really did a great job. They really did. And I'd like to thank the volunteers, give a special shout out to the Central Park Grade School Student Council who were there, and they cleaned, they're in the bushes, they're in the brush, they cleaned out every little piece of trash that they could get, and they did a great job. And also the Knights of Columbus from St. Augustine Catholic Church, there was a great turnout from them, and they took their area and did a great job of cleaning too. Public Works did a great job. They were very organized and helped a lot. They had those maps, made everything real easy. So thank you to them, and also thank you to the restaurants who we asked to provide breakfast, help with breakfast and lunch. And they were very generous as always. We asked them for a lot of things. They never, seems like they never say no. They always help out with what we need. So thank you to them. We should be very grateful for having such generous communities. And also, our beautification committee was out at the Village Green, greening up, as we say, pulling weeds and trash collecting and so on and so forth, and assessing what needs to be done for the future. Just on a side note, the flower boxes probably will be planted sometime next week. So they were out there working hard too. So thank you to everybody. It was a great day, and we appreciate everything that our volunteers did, and all of our vendors, all of our businesses that donated, and Public Works. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Crowley.
Thank you, sir. Just a couple things tonight. First, this afternoon, I sent a late email about the two phases of the program for our Lakota group, which is the company that the mayor and I and Trustee Burbat met with to conduct the streetscaping implementation on 147th Street. Phase 1 will be one portion, and then we will move into phase 2. We've broken this into 2 phases because phase 1 will be paid for out of our TIF. Phase 2, we've applied for a grant, and we're hoping to get a grant to cover the costs of phase 2. Sorry I sent it late. It was sitting in my drafts. I had sent it with another email to the board. At least I thought I sent it, but it was in the drafts. So I would like to approve this next week, but I know everybody didn't get a chance to look at it. So if everyone wants to take a look at it, Deputy Clerk, if you could put under my agenda for approval next week. Anybody has any questions or problems, just email me and we can go over them next week as well. Just a couple updates. I do have something for a closed session, but we are planning for our Independence Day Parade again. This year it's June 28th, and National Night Out. Another date to remember is August 5th, so please keep an eye on that. Finally, to Trustee Caveney. I don't know that I can do that.
60 words or less, Sandy.
Thank you. I was gonna tell our first meeting story, but I don't think I can get through it at this point. So, thanks on next week. Thank you for everything you've done. You're a good friend, and we're losing one hell of a trustee. Thank you. So, thank you. Whew. That's all I have. Sorry, Mayor.
Thank you. Attorney Valdez.
I have nothing except to echo what has already been said by trustees Crowley and Johnson with regard to Trustee Caveney. She can't say it because she'd be blowing her own horn, but having worked closely with her on many of these issues, I can say it for her. It should be noted that since that massage parlor incident, which definitely brought to the streets of Midlothian the real possibility that there was going to be several massage parlors operating at the same time in the village, since we passed that ordinance, which she was a definite active participant in writing, which took a lot of time for me, but obviously it was very successful. So she deserves all the credit for having single-handedly just about, along with the police department, stopping adult service type of industries in Midlothian. She was also,
And human trafficking.
and human trafficking too. So also the international building codes that she was the leader and driving force behind that fixed the electrical code, the plumbing code, the ADA code, the residential code, to ensure that the quality of the buildings and residences and ACA rules in the village of Midlothian were brought up to the 21st century, and so she deserves credit for that. The Rain Garden, which has become a crucial meeting point for the community in Midlothian. The Scarecrow Fest and the Halloween fest that we have over there has become I attended the last couple, so I know the residents love it, and that is just something that as long as that garden exists and as long as people keep meeting there, they can thank Trustee Caveney. Special use compliance. When the board issues a special use, it's dependent upon someone to make sure that those people who got those special use, who are on the fringes of complying with the law and are vulnerable for violating the code, Trustee Caveney was a force in making sure that they complied with special use forces. The last thing I would say is, though people may find it hard to believe, I am actually going to miss her. And that the residents of the village are going to be pretty hard pressed to find a trustee who did her job with such integrity, honesty, selflessness, and with compassion for her fellow Midlothian residents.
Wow. What a job. Okay. Under my business, I will be asking the board next week to approve the reinstatement of a liquor license for Shamrock's Bar. As you all know, they're trying to sell to a new owner. Deputy Chief Tavermina and myself have looked through everything. We've met with the owners, and we are in favor of it. They are a bar, a full-scale bar. They bring in over $10,000 a year just in licensing fees. And on top of that, with the liquor and gaming revenues, puts them over about $15,000 or more a year. So we're very confident with the new owners that they will continue to run a nice, safe establishment there. So unless there's any questions, under my agenda next week for approval, that's fine. Trustee Keating. Thank you. On behalf of myself, the village board, the village of Midlothian, thank you for your many, many years of service. We will miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too.
These are the purple iris plants. Iris, they are the official flower of Village Midlothian. And while you're not going far, I know you're not going far, we're going to see you often. I hope that you will plant them in the yard.
I will.
And they bloom.
Absolutely, I will.
Enough. That's all I have. Clerk Mouse.
Just a few things tonight. The clerk's office has received 2 requests for block parties. The first one being for Friday, July 4th, the 143rd block of Costner from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. The second one is for the 143rd block of Keystone on Saturday, July 26th from noon to 11 p.m. Both of these requests have names and sign off from 3 residents, and I believe both of these occur every year. Does the board have any concerns with either of these? No? Okay, if not, Deputy Clerk Harris will send them approval letters. And it's hard to find something else to say that hasn't been said. But Trustee Caveney, you will be sorely missed. I remember those days when I was a trustee and you were sitting out in the front row, advocating for our residents tirelessly. And so, what's that saying about sometimes when you complain about things, we have a volunteer, so I'm not exactly sure that this was what you were expecting would happen, but you've been a fantastic advocate for our residents, and you've done many, many great things for us, and you've been a great friend to me too, so thank you for everything you've done. We will miss you. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor, I believe I neglected to ask to add the manhole inspection to the consent agenda for next week.
Can do that.
All right, very good. Then at this time, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the closed session to discuss collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or the representatives.
I'll make the motion.
Hey.
Last one, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are in closed session. There will be no further action following closed session.
With forgiveness.